What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Hayley and I'm a nursing student, and today I wanted to share my pre-nursing / nursing experience. I want to be really transparent with you guys. This journey hasn't been anything but easy. It's been very difficult. I have faced a lot of hardships and a lot of bumps in the road, but everything got me to my goal, which is to be in nursing school. I'm now halfway done with nursing school. And so I just wanted to be kind of like an inspiration for you guys and just like a reminder to never give up on your goals. Always keep pushing through, and that you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it too. Alright guys, so I'm going to try and keep this as straightforward and clear and short as possible, because obviously there's a lot more information that I can be adding, but I'm only going to put the relevant information. So if you have any questions, feel free to let me know and I will answer them to the best of my ability. So to kick off my pre-nursing journey, I graduated high school in 2014. I knew that I wanted to be a nurse, so that kind of pushed me to decide which college that I chose. I ended up picking a university about 2 hours away from where I live. I was going with one of my really good friends from a different school to be my roommate, so I knew her going into it. And yeah, so I went away to a university and started taking some prerequisite classes for nursing. I'm not going to list all the classes that I took, but I do remember I took an intro to chemistry class, which was kind of just to like get you going into before the next chemistry, and like a sociology, like an art class, stuff like that, basic stuff that you need. And I did struggle with chemistry a little bit, but I ended up passing that semester. And then the next semester I took the actual health careers chemistry, which I struggled with a lot. I ended up not getting a very good grade in that class, even though I did like go out of my way to get tutored and studied really hard. It was just a really hard subject for me. So I didn't end up passing that class. When I met with my advisor, like as to what I could do next, she said, okay, you're allowed to have one retake for the science classes for nursing school. So I was like, okay, then I guess I have to retake it. So ended up retaking the chemistry, and I passed with a B, I think, because it still was like foreign language to me. So anyway, I passed with a B, but what happened was my school took the average of the two grades, and that was really unfortunate because it ended up putting me at like a C/D level, and that was still not good enough to move to the next part of the chemistry that I needed before I could apply for their nursing program. So at this point, my advisor was really straightforward with me. She said, there's no way that you can now apply for our nursing program, so I would suggest looking at other schools or considering a different major. She was very, very brutally honest with me. I was super upset, cried, and didn't really know what to do. And so what I did was I ended up changing my major to criminal justice. This probably seems really random, but honestly, criminal justice was another topic that I was super interested in, and I knew that if I was never going to be a nurse, that I would want to do something in criminal justice, like forensics or something along those lines. I didn't have anything particular in mind yet. I just wanted to take classes to get something, because I felt like I had already wasted 2-3 years of college taking nursing classes that now I wasn't going to be using. Long story short, I took an intro to criminal justice, a business class, and gender and women's studies class, a couple other things. Ended up hating it, and I knew that nursing was what I wanted to do. And then I realized that after one semester of non-nursing classes that I needed to find a school that I could take the rest of the prerequisites for nursing and then get into their program. So what I started doing next was researching some community colleges in my hometown area, as well as around the area that I was currently living for school for the university that I went to, because I had an apartment there, so I knew that I could stay in that area if I wanted to, which I kind of did want to. My sister was there with me and my really good friends, so I researched and ended up finding a college, a community college near the area that I was going to school in, and I applied there just for like a general entry to that college, and I ended up getting accepted. So once I got accepted to the community college, I went and met with my advisor, got some classes scheduled, and I started taking classes there in 2016. some prerequisite classes that I started off with were like cell biology, medical terminology, English, anatomy, what else? Another English. Luckily I didn't have to take chemistry again because they took the average of my grades, and even though it wasn't that good, it was still good enough to not need to retake another chemistry, which I was very thankful for. So once I took a bunch of prerequisite classes, my physiology grade was not the best. I really struggled with physiology, and so when I applied for their nursing program the first time in the winter of 2018, I got rejected. My GPA was not the best. I did have some transfer credits that weren't really transferring as smooth as I wanted them to. My GPA was very average when I applied. I think my overall GPA, which is what my school was looking at, was a 3.2, which isn't terrible, but for a nursing program, that's really not gonna cut it usually. So just to give some background information on my nursing school specifically, they take 40 students in the fall and 40 students in the winter. So that's 80 students total for the whole year. So it's a very competitive program. I know other schools that take a lot more people, so I know that for me personally, this was a very competitive program, and I knew that it was gonna be difficult to get into. So after I got rejected, I retook my physiology grade to try and boost my GPA up, as well as a couple classes that were transferring from the university that like weren't transferring very smoothly. So it was like dumb stuff like English and I think another math class that I needed to take there that would just help make my GPA a little bit stronger. And then once I retook some classes, I applied for fall 2018 start, and I knew that applying for the fall was going to be risky because that's when usually the higher GPAs get in, my advisor said. I don't really know the explanation for this. I do know that fall starts usually the overall GPA for everyone is higher, and then winter it's a little bit lower. So I figured I had a better chance of getting in the winter, but I applied for the fall start anyway and got rejected again. So in case you're keeping track, this is now 2 rejections that I have already received for getting into nursing school. This was a huge blow to my confidence. I felt like this is impossible. I'm never gonna be able to start, and it was really frustrating to me, mostly because all of my prereq grades were really good, but what was absolutely killing me was that some of the classes that I had transferring for Western were like dumb classes that I didn't do the best in my freshman year and sophomore year. And my program was looking at your overall GPA for everything. So my overall GPA, again, was still not that strong, even though all my nursing prereq classes were like 4.0, 3.5 grades. So that was really frustrating because I knew that if I just got the opportunity to excel in the nursing program that I would do really well, but it was just getting in was really difficult for me. So I ended up taking 1 or 2 more classes over again to get a better grade, and I'd have to break it all down really a lot more detailed than I'm gonna do in this video. So again, long story short, I applied for the winter of 2019 and I did not get in for a 3rd time. As you can imagine, at this point, I was absolutely devastated. I really wanted to give up, and I didn't know what else I could do because I had already retaken all the classes that I needed, but the fact that my school was looking at the overall GPA was really, really killing me. And my school didn't do any type of interview process or like admission test that you had to do. I know some schools do that stuff too. Mine was strictly based off of if you completed the prerequisites, passed, and then your overall GPA. So at this point, I'm just like lost. I don't know what to do. I started looking at other community colleges that perhaps would give me another, like a fighting chance of getting in somewhere. I didn't even care where at this point. I just wanted to be a nursing student. And again, like I said, my grades now for the prereqs were all 4.0s, 3.5 I think in 2 classes, and then I had 1 3.0 for my chemistry. So my overall nursing prereq grades are really, really good, but like the way that school's admission process was structured was not in my favor. So my mom convinced me to apply for the fall 2019 start of the nursing program where I had taken all the rest of my prereqs, I really didn't think I had a chance because, again, I had the information that fall starts were not, were a higher GPA usually than the winter start. So I was like, do I really want to set myself up for a 4th rejection letter? Like, that's got to be a record. And the people in the admission office are probably so sick of seeing my name in there. And yeah, so I was really discouraged about that. But my mom convinced me to apply another time. And then it was at this point that I realized that my nursing school was changing their admission/application process. So this, for the first time, instead of looking at the overall GPAs, they were only looking at your nursing prereq classes and then giving you bonus points for however many prereqs you took at that school. And then you also got extra points if you had any type of like healthcare background, like EMT or some type of like CNA or LPN type nursing stuff. And then, yeah, so anyway, it was a couple of other changes, but they all ended up really benefiting me because, like I said, my grades were very good in those classes. So, you know, I kind of thought maybe I do have a fighting chance this time. So I applied, but like very reserved about it. I was super nervous. I didn't really tell anyone at this point that I was applying because I didn't really want to have to explain that I got rejected for a record-breaking 4th time. So I turned in my application, but I was really nervous and I did not feel confident about that application at all. So then it was in about June of 2019 that I came home from work one day and I saw a big, huge like letter packet sitting on my kitchen table. And I instantly started freaking out because I knew what it was. Obviously, I had gotten 3 rejection letters in the past, and I knew what the envelope looked like, and this looked very, very different than the rejection letters. So I was super excited, opened up the letter with my parents, and come to find out, I got accepted to start the nursing program in the fall of 2019. I was crying my eyes out. I was absolutely over the moon. I couldn't believe that after all this time and all this BS that I had been through, I was finally gonna get to prove myself and show that I am very capable of being a successful nursing student and future nurse. Yeah, so long story short, finally got accepted, couldn't believe it, and then I started nursing school in the fall of 2019. So the first couple classes that I took, I'm going to talk about my nursing school journey now. So far, I'm halfway through. So that was my pre-nursing journey. So going into the actual nursing program, I was super, super nervous. The first couple classes that my school had was fundamentals, pharmacology, a psychosocial nursing, and then we had a lab. I know some programs jump right into clinical. My school takes the first couple of weeks to do a lab, and then we move to clinical. I can't remember exactly how many weeks. It's a good chunk of the semester that we're in the lab learning stuff, and then we move to clinical after that. So I passed lab and psychosocial nursing and pharmacology. I struggled with fundamentals. I can't really explain why. I think it was partially because of the teacher and the structure of the class was not my favorite, but I did end up passing in the end, and then I did my clinical at a nursing home, which I wasn't a huge fan of that either. I definitely don't want to work in a nursing home in the future when I become a nurse. So yeah, long story short, passed that semester, had winter break, and then came back in the winter 2020 program starting in January, and I had pharmacology 2, med-surg 1, and then a lab, which again was going to be transitioning to a clinical later in the semester. Med-surg and pharmacology this semester was a lot of work, but it was only 2 classes I had besides lab, so it was kind of hard to juggle all 3. But then once the lab ended and clinical started, I felt like I had a lot more time to devote to studying, and that benefited me in the long run. Now, about week 2 or 3 of my clinical starting, the coronavirus epidemic happened, and my clinical got suspended. I got moved to online classes, and this was a huge damper my plans, I must say, because I don't have any healthcare experience or background other than clinical / my nursing program. So I think that it was really detrimental for me to not be getting that clinical experience in person like I had wanted and that I really feel like I need. So that was a huge bummer. But we ended up finishing this semester doing online clinicals and online for my other 2 classes. And even though it wasn't an ideal situation, I passed that semester, and that just ended at the end of April. So here we are, summer 2020, and I am currently taking some classes for my bachelor's degree. My school has a concurrent nursing program with another university. And so this summer I'm taking a health assessment in nursing and a pathophysiology class. So these are counting towards my bachelor's degree. And my plan is for next semester to go back and take Peds, OB, Med-Surg 2. I think that's it for that semester. And then my last semester, which will be in the winter, is going to be with another psychosocial, I think like decisions in nursing healthcare or something, some other classes in there. And then I will graduate with my associate's degree in April/May. I think it's the end of April, beginning of May of 2021. And my plan is to sit and study and pass, hopefully, my NCLEX in June of 2021. And then the second half of that summer, I will have a couple other bachelor's classes and then come back in the fall. It's going to be online though. To take the rest of my bachelor's classes, and then I will graduate with my bachelor's degree in nursing in December of 2021. So that is my long-term plan. Again, if you guys have any questions, I can definitely answer some about my school. I know all schools and nursing programs are very different, so be warned that not all programs are like this. This is just how mine is running. And yeah, so I guess I want to end this video on a positive note and just let you guys know that, you know, it's not easy. A lot of people may have it all together. I definitely do not. And getting to where I am today has been literally the hardest thing I can ever think of. But every time that I got rejected, it kind of like lit a spark in me that was like, there's nothing else I want to do. Like, I cannot just pick something else. I have to find a way to get through this. I have to find a way to persevere and reach my goals in the end. Alright guys, so I think that about wraps up today's video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I just want to say I know that I've been a little bit slow uploading content. It's been really crazy with the coronavirus situation and also doing school. I've been looking for a job. So it's been a little crazy busy, but I promise that there is some good stuff coming in the future, so stay tuned for that. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!